A new day, a new month, and new vaccination plans. A 6-mass COVID vaccination site opens at Ball Arena today, a day before all of Colorado's adults can get a shot.
You'll never achieve herd immunity until you reach a good number of those kids as well.
Now the next step is vaccinating kids. Pfizer says theirs works for those as young as 12.
So there are a lot of questions yet to be answered.
It's been a hard year, especially for teens.
Hope is a roadmap. Our hopes and our visions are roadmaps, our dreams.
2 experts give solutions on how to help lift them up in today's It Takes a Village. Mile High Mornings at 6 starts now.
And good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Gary Shapiro, live at Coors Field. Happy opening day, everyone. It is the Colorado Rockies and the Dodgers, Los Angeles Dodgers. Not going to be an easy opening day for the Rockies. Coors Field, 2:10 this afternoon. All the tickets for the game this afternoon are sold out. It has been 550 days. Truck just went by. It has been 550 days since they have allowed fans in the stands here at Coors Field, and things are going to look a lot different if you do get to go to the ball game today. Once again, tickets are sold out. It won't be a full house, though. 21,000 fans will be allowed in the ballpark. That is 42% capacity. The health department is what mandated that. 7,000 of those seats are going to be reserved for vaccinated healthcare workers and first responders. That's pretty nice. And everyone 3 years old or over will be required to wear a face mask unless they are eating or drinking at the game. This morning, we want to know what it means to you to be able to go see the Rockies again. Tell us on social media, use the hashtag Mile High Mornings, and we will share some of your thoughts coming up a little bit later. And this morning, in just a bit, we're also going to talk a little bit about the history of baseball in Denver.
The Rocky Mountain News posted that there'll be a gathering of baseball players that are interested in playing baseball at Whipple's Cabinet Shop at 15th and Blake, and that was in March of 1862.
And guys, that was just the beginning. 1862. Did you know Babe Ruth played baseball here in Denver? We'll talk about how that happened coming up too. But I'm going to send it back to you, but it's really, really going to be nice to see fans in the stands and not cardboard cutouts, right?
Yes.
Totally. Opening day is always exciting, but this year even more so.
It's so exciting. And Ed, you are tracking the perfect baseball weather.
Yeah, that game in 1862, I remember that game. I was just a little kid at the time, of course. Let's take a look outside, and you can see we do have clear skies in our city. 67 degrees is where we're going with all that sunshine this afternoon, and you can see it border to border all around the region. Just no weather disturbances at all. So 60s and 70s today over the eastern plains and the west. 40s and 50s for the high country and the forecast. 67 with 73 tomorrow, 77 Saturday, 80 on Sunday, and that's a record 83-degree reading if we get it on Monday with sunny skies, and even Tuesday and Wednesday we'll see temperatures above normal.
Ed, thank you so much. Let's talk about this drive, which so far is still extremely quiet. I think everyone's sleeping in to go to opening day a little bit later this morning. But right now, westbound 6th Avenue, totally clear traveling from Lodo into Golden. That's only going to take you 8 minutes. Still giving you the green light wherever you're headed right now. Downtown Tech Center, Boulder, Aurora, absolutely no delays. We've got a quick ride as well on southbound I-25. Just 13 minutes here traveling from downtown to the Tech Center.
Now let's take a live look at Ball Arena this morning. In just a few hours, it will become the state's 6th mass COVID-19 vaccination site, welcoming a couple thousand people over the next couple days. All available appointments are now booked, but more are going to open later. Tomorrow, vaccine eligibility opens to all Coloradans older than 16. As of now, more than 1 million Coloradans are now fully vaccinated. That's about 17% of the state. Another 11% are waiting for their second dose, and that gray color that you see on the screen is the number of people not eligible because they are younger than 16. But getting kids vaccinated is going to be the next step to beating COVID-19. And Pfizer now says its vaccine can work for kids 12 and older. 9 News reporter Eddie Randall joins us now. Eddie, we still have a lot of questions after this Pfizer announcement.
Well, that's right, and good morning to you, Natasha. So parents are asking those questions, and they want to know if the vaccine is going to be ready before next school year. Doctors tell us it's too early to answer that question, but it's not too early to start planning. The study is showing the Pfizer vaccine was 100% effective in kids ages 12 12 to 15. So let's talk more about this. The announcement from Pfizer came Wednesday, saying its COVID-19 vaccine is safe and strongly effective in kids as young as the age of 12. The study was small. There were only over 2,600 volunteers, and they ranged from ages 12 to 15. So preliminary data showed there were no cases of COVID among those fully vaccinated. Now, when it comes to side effects, the study says they are similar to adults: pain, fever, chills, and fatigue, particularly after the second dose. The FDA still needs time to look at all the data. We talked to Dr. Reginald Washington, who's the chief medical officer at Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children. He's encouraged by the results from the Pfizer study.
That's a large group of people who are not protected, and you'll never achieve herd immunity until you reach a good number of those kids as well. So there are a lot of questions yet to be answered, but I'm sure the FDA is going to scrutinize that and release the vaccine as soon as they're convinced that it's safe to do so.
So children represent 13% of COVID cases documented in the United States. The American Academy of Pediatrics says while children are far less likely to get seriously sick than adults, over 260 kids have died from COVID in the United States, and more than 13,500 have been hospitalized. Pfizer is also studying the vaccine in kids ages 6 months to 11 years old. Moderna has its own study involving people 12 to 17 years old. Johnson & Johnson is also planning its pediatric studies as well. So Colorado opens vaccines to the general public on Friday, and kids could be next in line, Natasha.
That is pretty amazing. Eddie, thank you. And if you still have some questions about the vaccine, you can text us for more information. Just text the word vaccine to 303-871-1491. We'll respond with the latest information and as well as our vaccine guide to help you get one if you'd like.
Now time for more top stories in the morning rush. We're tracking developing news out of Southern California. 4 people are dead, including a child, and 1 is seriously hurt after a shooting at an office complex in the city of Orange. Officers shot the suspect and took him to the hospital. We're expecting more information at a news conference later this morning. Today, friends and family will gather to remember 25-year-old Ricky Old. She was a manager at the King Soopers in Boulder when she was shot and killed 10 days ago. A viewing today will be at Christ Mortuary in Boulder from 6 to 9 p.m. A celebration of life will take place next week at Boulder Valley Christian Church. Both are open to the public. Fans at Ball Arena thanked Boulder police for their response to the mass shooting. Officers with BPD sat in the suites at Wednesday night's game. They draped a Boulder Strong Avalanche jersey over one of the seats, a tribute to Officer Eric Talley and the 9 other victims. Today, the trial of Derek Chauvin enters day 4, Wednesday, after prosecutors showed new video of George Floyd inside a store buying cigarettes. It was that purchase which prompted the clerk to call police over a counterfeit bill. A prosecution witness also broke down in court while watching video of officers struggling with Floyd. Today, President Biden will hold his first cabinet meeting since taking office. The White House says it will focus on the COVID-19 response, the American Job Plan, and implementing the American Rescue Plan. And that's your Morning Rush.
And welcome back to Coors Field, everyone, on this opening day. Colorado Rockies and the Dodgers this afternoon at 2:10. If you're lucky enough to get a ticket, you can watch it here at the stadium, 40% capacity, or of course you can always watch it on TV at home. Things are going to be a lot different, though, if you are coming into the ballpark. Ariel Arzuto takes us through some of that.
And that's how 2019 will end.
It's been 550 days, but the gates to Coors Field are finally open once again.
Things are going to look different. It's not going to be a normal opening day, but we've got to start someplace, right?
So why not start at the beginning? To keep crowds contained at the gate, bag policies are changing.
No multi-pocket bags or backpacks. Also different to this year, we're going to ask guests to carry the bags through the walk-through metal detectors.
Once fans enter the stadium, their baseball nostalgia will immediately hit them from the smells of the open concession stands. But things will still be different from years past. As you can imagine, masks and social distancing both required. The 21,000 opening day fans will be spread into pods of 2, 3, or 4 per row.
Most unique aspect of things is just people taking that extra step and thinking about others and keeping people safe in and around the ballpark.
The field is off limits to anyone outside of Tier 1 and 2 employees, so those opening day festivities you're used to, those will be altered.
We are going to do American flag, but it's going to be up in the stands. We are going to do an anthem, but it's going to be in the stands. We are going to do a first pitch, but it'll be virtual.
Fans who have lived in Colorado for years know that the celebration isn't confined to 9 innings inside of these walls, but instead to a celebration in all of these streets surrounding the ballpark.
It is a tradition unlike any other to us here in Colorado, and we can't wait to see people be a part of it again.
That's what we do. You know, we do baseball games, so we're all excited and can't wait for people to come back in.
From Coors Field, Ariel Orsuto, 9 News.
And Ariel, thanks for that. We appreciate it. So it is going to be a little bit different, but hey, it is still opening day and it is still baseball, right? We have been asking this morning on social media, if you're going to the game, what are you most looking forward to? You can use the hashtag MileHighMornings. We've gotten some comments, and some of them so far have been, you know, just maybe a little bit snarky. James says he is looking forward to taking out a loan to buy a beer. I can understand that. It's a little pricey. And Beth says that it means to her a little bit of normalcy and a light at the end of the COVID tunnel. We get that too. Justin said he is just excited to hear the crack of the bat again, and he plans to be here today. There are a lot of diehards that I talk to that say, yeah, expectations are low. Yeah, it's going to be a mess because of COVID, but it is still baseball, and I'm going to be here because I'm a baseball fan. Hey, speaking of being a baseball fan, did you know there were fans more than 100 years ago that watched baseball at ballparks in Denver? We're going to talk more about that coming up in just a little bit.
Forward to that story, Gary. Thank you. No prom, no graduation, no seeing friends at school for a year. It's been tough on teenagers, and there are ways we can help them get through what's left of this different school year.
And on this opening day, we continue our coverage of the Rockies and the Dodgers game this afternoon. You know, for a lot of baseball fans, Coors Field is the only ballpark they have ever known. A lot of people haven't been here except, you know, since 1995 and on. But if you're old like me, you might remember Mile High Stadium. Yeah, they used to play baseball there too. And there are actually ballparks that go back more than 100 years in Denver, and they were all positively Colorado.
0-1. This ball in the air.
It's a famous park. Coors Field ranks right up there with the best in the country. But it's not the only place baseball has been played in Denver. Let's take a trip down memory lane through the book Baseball in Denver. Our first stop is the Broadway grounds, located between Lincoln and Broadway and Colfax and 16th Street, where Civic Center Station is now. It's where the first recorded game was played in 1862. The players for that game met at a different location, as described by the author of Baseball in Denver, Matthew Replinger.
The Rocky Mountain News posted that there'll be a gathering of baseball players that are interested in playing baseball at Whipple's Cabinet Shop at 15th and Blake, and that was in March of 1862.
The next notable ballpark was Riverfront Park. It's where Commons Park is now, between Bassett Street and the Platte River.
But Riverfront Park hosted a lot of different sporting events, from rodeos to horse races to bicycle races. It had its own velodrome. It actually had electricity, and they played baseball right there down by Cherry Creek and Platte River confluence.
There were other notable ballparks in Denver. Broadway Park 1 was near the corner of 6th and Acoma in the early 1900s. It burned down and was replaced by Broadway Park 2. It hosted the Denver Post Tournament, which eventually became a big deal. One of the teams that played there was called the Denver White Elephants. Matthew Replinger says way ahead of its time.
They were like the Jackie Robinson of sports teams. They broke the color barrier really long before any other team, and that would have been in the 1933 Denver Post Tournament.
One of the more famous ballparks was Merchants Park. It's where Merchants Park Shopping Center is now at Broadway and I-25. It's where Babe Ruth barnstormed in Denver.
Most notably, came through Denver 2 different times, once with Lou Gehrig and the Bustin' Babes and the Larapin Lou's. You may have seen photos of those two. That was a big deal when they came through. It was sponsored by Piggly Wiggly, which of course became Safeway.
The most famous pre-Coors Field ballpark was Bears Stadium, which eventually became Mile High Stadium. The AAA Denver Bears played there. They became the Zephyrs in the 80s. And through the years, the ballpark expanded in size. That's one reason the expansion Denver Broncos eventually ended up playing there. If you look in the northwest parking lot at Empower Field, there's a plaque marking the old Bears and Mile High stadiums. Home of the Bears, Zephyrs, and even the Rockies for a couple of seasons. Home plate was about 500 feet north of the plaque. Yes, it is a parking lot now. But back in the day, it's where Denver baseball history was made. It was a different time then, but not all that different.
The equipment's changed. The manner and maybe how they throw the ball has changed. The ball itself has changed. But the game is still a gathering like it is today. People coming together, and it's just a fun thing to be a part of, and it always has been.
And thanks to Matt Replinger for helping us out with that story. By the way, if you want to buy his book, you can on Amazon. And as always, if you have a story that is positively Colorado, shoot me an email at gary.shapiro@9news.com. Old-time baseball. Ed, you and I are old, but even we don't remember those first games.
That's right. But boy, that was a great, great story about all that old-time baseball history, Gary. Hey, we have clear skies around here right now. Temperature is right at 30 degrees, and we are going to see clear skies all around here. What we do have is a high pressure that is blocking things here. That means everything is just stacked up, so not everything is moving very much. High pressure system here just kind of hangs around, holds back this low pressure. That holds back our high pressure. That's good news because this is fair weather for us. However, because it's going to be dry and warm around here, the fire danger will probably go up. 60s, 70s over the eastern plains for highs today, 40s, 50s for the high country, mostly 60s out to the west. And then tonight, mild lows with 30s and 40s over the eastern plains, 30s and 40s west, and up at the higher elevations, we'll see 20s and 30s. All right, here is your good looking and warm Denver forecast for today. Rockies opening day, mostly sunny, 67 degrees, so weather cooperating with our ball team. Then for tonight, clear skies and a low of 37 degrees. Then we jump into the 70s for Friday with 73 degrees and sunny skies, 77 on Saturday. Look at your Easter Sunday, 80. Look at Monday, 83 degrees. And then we get to the 70s again, cool it down a little, but still that 67 degrees is 9 above normal for this time of year. And it continues on Thursday with sunny skies.
Ed, thank you. Let's talk about this drive, and it really is still a quiet one as we approach 6:20 this morning. We are still crash-free. I think everybody's sleeping in. We're really not even seeing delays yet into Commerce City. Just the teeniest bit of yellow and orange there at 76 that meets I-270, but it's really not impacting that travel time. Westbound I-76 here in from E-470 into Commerce City, you still have the green light, only 13 minutes. Travel times elsewhere out on I-70 are in good shape, 10 minutes or quicker here between I-225 and I-25.
Hope can go a long way. That's a message from an expert we turn to for advice on how to help teenagers through these tough times. In a typical school year, this is the time when high schoolers are focused on college exams and tours. We all know it's not a typical year. Our teens have been missing so much of the high school experience. As we creep back to normal, it's important to understand what they've gone through. Kim Christensen talked with two experts for advice for parents in this week's It Takes a Village.
Graduations delayed. No proms. No spring sports. Milestones were lost. It's been a hard year.
We've suffered tremendous grief as a result of all the losses that we've experienced. And by no means have we all shared in one common pandemic experience. But I think it's safe to say that we've experienced grief and a lot of loss. And when I think of school communities in particular, I think of the loss of human connection and that these are people-based places and that we don't get to share in our friendships and our rituals.
We're right now at the anniversary of the beginning of this pandemic, and anniversaries really matter. So we have students that, and all people having these experiences that live in our bodies of, wow, at this time last year, we got off school a week before spring break and we never went back.
Teens feel the pain of these losses, and as parents, we need to lift them up.
Because I am a parent of a child that age, and I think about just the refrain being, you're doing this, you're remarkable, you're upright, you persist every day, you're building a strength and a skill set that you won't even be able to reflect upon for years. This is hard. It's unbelievable. You don't deserve this, right? I mean, we would never wish this on anybody, but you're doing it. Like, you're here and you're amazing, leaning into where are the possibilities? Because there are a lot of doors that have closed, but where is that possible choice, possible decision, possible pathway forward? It just feels more than ever like a really important aspect of living.
Yeah, and I think that as adults, we have to hold the hope for our children sometimes, for our students, for our children, for our families, and that hope is a roadmap. Our hopes and our visions are roadmaps, our dreams. And so how do we step into what's possible in moving ourselves forward in that direction?
Where do you see us a year from now? Are we going to be better people?
I hope so. I hope that we will be in a place where we have and can acknowledge the growth and the possibility and the changes, some real critical changes that we have been called to make, and to leave some of the stuff that didn't work for us behind. I feel excited about it.
I feel that we can never go back to the way it was. In many ways, we shouldn't, because I think this pandemic has really shed a light on some areas that we as a society need to grow and need to repair and need to dismantle and then build from there.
Kim Christensen reporting there. Beth and Brooke have written a book called Teaching, Learning, and Trauma, Responsive Practices for Holding Steady in Turbulent Times. And don't forget to join our village. Just find It Takes a Village on Facebook.
The start of April is being really nice to Colorado. Taking a live look outside our station now as we start a nice stretch of weather with some record temperatures possible. Ed Green will have your forecast in a few, and Gary Shapiro will have an update on opening day. "10 days later, we're remembering 10 lives lost at a King Soopers in Boulder. Family and friends will gather to remember store manager Ricky Olds today.
When somebody dies, you're sad. But in a situation like this, it's just unbelievable.
New security camera video and new body camera footage showed in Derek Chauvin's trial.
Mr. McGon, do you need a minute?
We could all use more than a minute to process everything we are now seeing. Our racial equity expert is here for an important conversation about racial trauma. The state's 6th mass COVID-19 vaccination site opens in just a few hours.
We're doing better. We need to do more.
As the state works to get more shots to underserved communities.
And good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Grab the peanuts and Cracker Jacks, because this year we actually get to take you out to the ball game for opening day here at Coors Field. Yep, this afternoon at 2:10, it is the Colorado Rockies and the world champion LA Dodgers. They're going to play opening day game here, and it'll be the first time in 550 games, 550 days, I should say, that there will be fans in the stands at Coors Field. It won't be a full house. There'll be 21,000 fans. That's about 42% capacity. That is what the health department mandated. 7,000 of those seats are going to be reserved for vaccinated healthcare workers and first responders. Everyone over 3 years old in the stands will be required to wear masks at all time unless they are actually eating or drinking. We want to know, what do you think about opening day, getting to go back to the ballpark? Share your favorite memories and photos of Rockies games past with us. Use the hashtag MileHighMorning, and we will talk about some of your responses coming up. But guys, I'm pretty excited that we actually get to go to the ballpark, even though some Rockies expectations aren't very good. It's still opening day, and everybody everybody is even. Everybody's tied,
There you
right?
go.
Right, it's day one, anything can happen, and it's just such a relief to see a little bit of normal poking through here.
Oh yeah, a little bit of normalcy. It's going to be my first game this weekend, and Ed, the weather could not be better.
Yeah, for the whole homestand, and I just love that the first responders get in to see the ball game today. Let's go outside, take a look at our satellite picture, and you can see border to border. This is a running picture. There's just no clouds to be moving around. So 67 degrees with all that sunshine today for the Rockies. This is the way it plays out with sunny skies all day long. We'll do it again tomorrow with a few more clouds, but a little warmer, 73 degrees. Talking about a little warmer, 77 on Saturday, 80 on Sunday, and Monday, 83 degrees with plenty of sunshine.
Ed, thank you so much. We do want to talk about this drive because we're still in really good shape. As we take a peek here, beginning to see some stop and go through Commerce City. That's very normal at this hour. One crash out near the airport, 75th Avenue and Jackson Gap Street. So just be mindful of that. Maybe if you're catching a flight out early this morning. Again, some stop and go into Commerce City here as well on westbound I-76. Heading in from E-470, right around a 20-minute travel time for you right now.
Today, friends and family will gather to remember Ricky Old. She was a manager at the King Soopers in Boulder and one of the 10 people killed in the mass shooting last week. Her family is hosting a viewing today at Christ Mortuary in Boulder from 6 until 9 p.m. And then next Wednesday, there will be a celebration of life at Boulder Valley Christian Church. That starts at 11 a.m. Both are open to the public. Ricky's family says she was caring, driven, and she loved the outdoors. She was 25. We're also remembering more and more and learning more and more about each of the 10 victims. Terry Leiker worked at the King Soopers. Terry lived with a disability, and family members say that she overcame challenges in life to create a life of happiness. From her time in the Special Olympics to the job she held, the friends she made her family proud.
No matter who you are, no matter if you have a disability, you can make a life of happiness for yourself.
Terry worked for King Soopers for more than 30 years. Her mom told us the company plans to honor other 30-year employees with a special anniversary ring named in Terry's honor. People have donated more than $1 million for the Boulder County Crisis Fund. This is money that will help with short and long-term needs for people affected by last week's shooting. To donate or learn more about the victims, you can see all of that on our website at 9news.com.
I've got more of your top stories in 90 seconds. Colorado's 6th mass COVID-19 vaccination site opens today at Ball Arena. All available appointments are booked, but more will open later. The state health department says that it'll give out more than 2,400 doses today and tomorrow. Right now, more than 1 million Coloradans are fully vaccinated. That's about 17% of the state. Another 11% are waiting for their second dose, and that gray color you see on your screen is a number of people not eligible because they are younger than 16. A Johnson & Johnson contractor used the wrong ingredients to make its COVID-19 vaccine, ruining thousands of potential doses. The company says the ingredients were part of a test run and never made it to filling and finishing stages of manufacturing. J&J said the mistake did not affect its goal of delivering 20 million doses by the end of March. The Colorado Vaccine Equity Task Force is trying to make sure underserved communities get equal access to the vaccine. The task force says they're doing better but need to do more.
The issue becomes then we're behind the mark and we're playing catch up, which is a problem.
The state health department says almost 13% of people of color have received a vaccine. The state says that it's planning to roll out 75 more equity clinics and 4 mobile vaccine buses next week. Elish Gardens needs employees before reopening. They hope to hire more than 1,000 people at a job fair this weekend. It'll be held at the park's main gate tomorrow and Saturday. That's your news in 90.
Natasha, thanks. We're back live at Coors Field now for opening day for the Colorado Rockies. It is game 1 of 162 games. This year, unless COVID gets in the way, they're planning to have a full season in Major League Baseball. Game 1 in the first series is actually not going to be all that easy. The world champion Dodgers are coming to town. Not a lot of high expectations for them this season, or for the Rockies this season, I should say, after losing Nolan Arenado. But the manager, Bud Black, is saying noise from the outside doesn't always match what is actually happening in his clubhouse. He says a successful season would be if they make the playoffs, and he thinks that they will. So we'll just have to see. They may exceed expectations. John Glasgow joins us now. I know there's a lot of fans out there who are true fans who are hoping they will exceed expectations.
Lots of different Rockies fans. You've got the first timers, you've got the fair weather fans that just come out here when the days are nice, and then you've got the diehard fans.
Right.
But there's also Eric Brown, who comes to the ballpark for more than just the game.
Opening day, the crack of the bat, the smell of hot dogs in the air, the first pitch of a new season.
You just feel this sense of, okay, summer's almost here. This is better than the first day of spring. This is the first day of spring.
It means everything to baseball fans like Eric Brown. His home covered wall to wall in memorabilia.
One of those shelving units is all Hall of Famers that I've got stuff that I've had for 35 years.
A love of the game since his days in Little League in Chicago.
My parents used to pitch like a wiffle ball to me in the basement.
Life brought him to Colorado. His allegiance now split between the Cubs and the Rockies. A season ticket holder here for 13 seasons.
Then a lot of my friends that I know that I hang out with are people that I've met at baseball games. And we'll hang out in the off season, and sometimes you get to know the players a little bit more than, you would think you're going to.
At Coors Field so often, even Rockies owner Dick Monfort noticed his Cubs jersey at a game.
He'll say, "Hey, you're not wearing the right stuff." And I go, "You got my money. These guys have my heart." But yeah, I'm definitely a Rockies fan. A disappointed, frustrated Rockies fan.
Watches the highs and lows with a scorecard in hand. But last season was the most difficult.
It's just frustrating not to be able to be there, to hear the announcer. I'm not there watching it live.
The ballpark hustle and bustle will be scaled back on opening day this season. But for Eric, he's just happy to have a seat and a scorecard.
It's going to be different. It's not going to be the same, but you got to get there and see.
John Glasgow, 9 News.
It certainly will be different. Excuse me. And Eric, he says that he has that scorecard because it helps him focus on the game. There's a lot of distractions at the ballpark, and he likes to be involved in every pitch and know what's going on. He sits in section 333, way up behind the plate, and he says he can see the game the best there, and he's going to be sitting in a pod just a few seats over because of the COVID protocols this year.
I love fans like that.
He is a diehard.
And those guys that keep score during the game, I mean, they're really something else.
Tuned right in, aren't they?
They are, yeah, pretty special stuff. You know, we've been asking fans this morning on social media, using the hashtag Mile High Mornings, what their favorite memories of the ballpark are. We've gotten quite a few comments so far. Mallory says one of her favorite memories was the game where my friends and I made the big screen, not once but twice, with our dance moves. I've been on the big screen too, but not dancing. Brenda says that her favorite memory was just before Charlie's 12th inning walk-off home run. And Nick says his favorite memory was the first time he got to see the Cardinals take on the Rockies at Coors Field. We want to thank you all for sharing. You know, guys, I got tons of memories of Coors Field. I think one of my favorites, though, was when I was covering the All-Star game back in 1998. It was here at Coors Field. And we shared a little space in the outfield with NBC. And Arsenio Hall was covering the game for The Tonight Show.
No kidding.
And so I got to share the space with Arsenio Hall, and we kept moving back and forth from the camera, and he is just the coolest guy ever.
That would have been an unbelievable experience.
It was awesome.
My experience was the first time walking in here. I just couldn't believe how beautiful this ballpark is, Coors Field. Watched the Jays here, obviously Canadian, wanted to see the Canadian team play the Rockies.
Right.
And I just remember thinking, wow, this is a beautiful ballpark.
It is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, you're Canadian? I would have never guessed.
It's that accent, isn't it, Gary?
Yeah. You're Canadian, eh? Yeah, the sunsets inside Coors Field are just incredible. Gary, I'm surprised you haven't made it on the big screen with your dance moves because they are spot on.
Well, you've seen me dance. You know why.
So good. Yeah, and guys, I'm making memories this weekend. My first game. I'm so excited. I've heard about how awesome the ballpark is, and I just can't wait to take in those views and eat all the food.
Yes, enjoy. It's going to be so fun. Yep. I just love that we're talking about opening day and fans in the stands and not cardboard cutouts and real, cheers, not like fake ones. So it's so great.
It is great. Love it. All right.
All right, now we're taking a live look outside at the start of what will be a gorgeous day weather-wise. Look at that sunrise. Ed Green will tell us about some potentially record-high temperatures in the forecast.
This week of the Derek Chauvin trial has been tough to watch for so many people. Our racial equity expert joins us next to talk about racial trauma.
When he kept saying, "I can't breathe," and when he said, "Mama, you're killing me," and they're killing me, that's what I kept hearing, "I can't breathe, Mama, they're killing me." Then when he started saying, my body's shutting down.
Charles McMillan broke down while testifying in day 3 of Derek Chauvin's trial. The moment came after seeing new video of George Floyd's death. From the new graphic video to the ones that we've already seen, this murder trial is creating new emotions and bringing back a lot of old memories. It's a lot to process, and to help unpack the emotion of revisiting Floyd's death, we're bringing in our racial equity expert, Dr. Rosemary Allen. Dr. Allen, good morning.
Good morning, Natasha. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You know, we've heard the phrase racial trauma being used during discussion and analysis of the trial. Can you please explain what that is?
Sure. Racial trauma is the profound negative impact on the psychological well-being of people of color who have experienced racism or witnessed racist acts. And it's the type of trauma, even when experienced vicariously, that has a profound impact that results in toxic stress and also an extreme, deep emotional pain. And it's worsened by the cumulative impacts of racism that's experienced repeatedly and over time.
How is this trial bringing racial trauma up?
Oh, Natasha, Black, Indigenous people of color are being re-traumatized right now. We have to remember that this community has not yet healed from the murders of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, or Elijah McClain. We also have to understand that they are reliving the trauma by watching the video and hearing the deep emotional pain of witnesses as they relive those traumatic events. And for many people, they're experiencing their own racial trauma and reliving that. And racial trauma is historical, it's passed down through generations, but it's not only about what happened in the past, but what currently is happening and continues to happen in the fear of what will happen in the future.
Dr. Allen, can you talk about some of the signs this trial is causing trauma for someone?
Oh, some people are watching this trial and they're experiencing rage, fear, anger. They may be feeling irritable, have anxiety. Their sleep patterns might be disturbed right now, and having nightmares and racing thoughts of racial events.
It's been very difficult, kind of takes you back to those times earlier in the summer. What are some ways to avoid these negative reactions to the trial?
First, you'll want to monitor your consumption of the trial. If you feel yourself experiencing some of these emotions, it may be time to turn the television off. And also, you might need to shift your thinking. We have to remember that George Floyd is not on trial here. Derek Chauvin is on trial. And we also have to seek out support from our networks. But if you are feeling that you can't handle this, that it's too much for you, please seek out the help from a professional mental health therapist.
Dr. Allen, thank you so much. A very thoughtful discussion.
Thank you so much.
And just like Dr. Allen said, we want to encourage anyone experiencing any sort of negative responses to reach out for help. Our Colorado Crisis Services is available 24/7. You can call them at 1-844-493-8255. The number is on your screen, or you can text the word TALK to 38255. The National Suicide Prevention Line is also on your screen as well.
As you know, it's Rockies opening day. Gary's out at the ballpark, and we have sunshine and blue skies around here. 30 degrees at this hour. Just a terrific day. And we got all these clear skies in the general region. There's not even a cloud in the area, so it's not going to mess with the sunshine at all. Starting to dry us out, though. Red flag warning for high fire danger in Baca County and the eastern half of Los Animas County. And I just think this is going to spread northward as this dry, warm weather continues. Get a little breeze, and then high fire danger goes up. Temperatures today, 60s and 70s. Very pleasant and above normal over the eastern plains. Same for the mountains as we get into the 50s, 60s out to the west, and then lows tonight, 30s and 40s east and west, 20s and 30s for the high country. Take a look at this good-looking forecast. 67 degrees today for this opening day with plenty of sunshine. Then for tonight, clear skies and low of 37, all above normal temperatures. Boy, I want to talk about above normal. We jump into the 70s on Friday, 77 on Saturday, Easter Sunday, 80, a record high 83 on Monday, and then we stay still above normal, although a bit cooler as we head into next week with temperatures in the 60s and 70s, but still plenty of sunshine.
Ed, thank you so much. Here approaching 6:51. We want to get you out the door and on the roads and talk about what we're seeing. We do have a new crash on southbound I-25. It's on the ramp run 104th Avenue here in the North Glen Thornton area. And we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown through that stretch, which is pretty normal at this hour. Traveling out to the airport, you may see this crash along 75th Avenue at Jackson Gap Street. Quickly, just want to mention our Commerce City delays are getting a little bit worse. 25 minutes for your ride on westbound I-76 into Commerce City from E470.
Erica, thanks for that. And today is opening day at Coors Field. If you're one of the lucky ones that get inside for opening day, and there are going to be real people inside, we'll tell you what you need to know right after the break. And welcome back, everyone, to opening day at Coors Field. The Dodgers and the Rockies this afternoon at 2:10. Here are three things you need to know about this opening day. It's going to be unlike any other opening day in the history of the team. The first one is it's not going to be a full house, but it won't be empty either. 21,000 fans will be allowed in the ballpark. That is 42% capacity. 7,000 of those seats reserved for vaccinated healthcare workers and first responders. Everybody over 3 must wear a mask unless they're at their seat eating or drinking. Second thing to know, the team is playing the world champion Dodgers today, and as we said, the first pitch is at 2:10. This will be the first of a 162-game season for the Rockies. It's going to be a full season. That's the plan anyway, unless COVID ruins that plan. And the third thing to know is, well, the weather is just going to be fabulous if you're heading down here for the ball game this afternoon. Ed joins us now. Ed, it's a little bit chilly right at the moment, but it's going to warm right up, I understand.
Boy, it really is, Gary. Once that sun gets up there and gets a little stronger, it's going to be a very pleasant day. Let's go inside the stadium right now, and it just looks terrific, and that's the way it's going to end up today. 67 degrees, plenty of sunshine today with clear skies, pretty much border to border, and that's going to warm the temperatures nicely. 60s, 70s east and west, 50s and 60s for the high country. Mostly sunny today, milder, 67 degrees. Normal high is 58. We're even warmer on Friday at 73. Saturday we get to 77, 80 for Eastern Sunday, and Monday we start next week with 83 degrees.
Goodness, wow. How great is that? Not even just opening day looking fantastic, but the whole homestand.
I love that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, because we have seen opening days, right, where it's been snowing and cold, and yeah, it's going to be really nice.
Well, they've been snowed out on some of the opening days. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, they had to cancel the game because of the snow.
I remember that. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we are going over to Channel 20 now. Lots more baseball coverage over there, including a one-on-one interview with the manager, Bud Black. We'll talk to him about Nolan and about a whole bunch of other stuff, too. We'll see you on Channel 20.